EA Sports. It's in the game.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. With that, let's get up to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. We're standing by for the call are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying, fly, Eagles, fly, as they get ready to match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Godden with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
And when you scout him on tape, you see the big wind-up delivery. But one other thing I noticed, when it's time to turn it loose, to let that ball go, it gets out of his hands quickly at that point and gets from A to B, B being the receiver, with some dispatch.
Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And he'll get this one up to the 26. The corner, Ronald Darby, comes up to get him. And this offense can air it out, and when they do, you have to key on Mike Evans.
And we do think about his catch radius first and foremost. A tall, lean receiver, but he actually can make some agile plays as well.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. On play action, Winston. It's caught by Mike Evans. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And it's incomplete. Both players had a shot at that one. Neither can get it, and it brings up 4th down.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Back deep is Darren Sproles. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5" quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
Not only does he look the part, he plays it as well. Tall, prototypical-looking pocket passer with better athletic ability than what people think, gets outside of the pocket and makes big plays downfield.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 20.
Here we go.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, tried to start it out with a bang, but it's second down. And the tight end, Zach Ertz, is key in this offense as we get a look at the starters.
Comes out of the factory known as Stanford, which keeps putting out tight ends. Zach Ertz, one of the better ones we've seen in recent years.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Wentz will try again on 2nd down. And complete to Zach Ertz. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that...
And his first carry, he loses the football. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Well, he's not the starter coming in, getting his first carry off the bench. That's not the way to earn more carries.
You have to stay in the game, even if you're not on the field, right? Stay mentally sharp, stay ready. And above all, when you get into the game, hold on to the...
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. Drops it off to Ajayi. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, but I believe it was covered by an Eagle. It was, and Philadelphia is going to hold on to the football.
The start of this game has me doing flashbacks and remembering when I was playing and seeing a similar start and seeing the head coach actually take a timeout and gather the whole team around him and tell everybody to get it together. Let's get some focus going here, because maybe he just sensed that maybe the whole team wasn't ready to play.
Yeah, well, they've gone interception, now fumble. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, still first down on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Kill. On the ball.
Now it's Ajayi. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's third down now. They run with Ajayi. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. Here we go on fourth down with Wentz. Steps away to his left. And he connects with Ertz. Fourth down, no problem. Just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field.
Nice movement there by Carson Wentz. Outside of the pocket, completes another pass. Help me out here, partner. He's not sneaky athletic. He is athletic. How many times do I have to say it?
Yeah, you've been making that declaration for a while, and at 6'5", he ran a 40 of 4.77, so not only big, but he can move.
That's a good time for a quarterback. He and Andrew Luck, similar physiques, similar athletic ability.
Here we go. 180!
58, right over there.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Wentz now on first down. Ertz has it left side. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. So each quarterback with an interception here in what was a mistake-filled first quarter. 0-0 our score, and we're back to Philadelphia after this. Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing on first is Wentz. Flush to his right. Looking for Jeffrey, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
That is incomplete. Charles Sims, the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
On 3rd down, Winston. And this is going to be incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about it.
Here comes the pressure, and the Eagles get there to block it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. Here comes the defensive unit for the Buccaneers as they get set here. And a big reason we're tied as we get a look at them here, the 3 turnovers they forced.
And you know that the pride has really kicked in on the defensive side because they are the reason that they're in the position they're in right now. A tie game. They're trying to figure out a way to take it away again, and if so, that could put them in the lead.
Here we go. 180.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. They'll try to run with a J. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jay taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. And Charles, he's able to dive in there in a short yardage situation.
Just find a place to get to the end zone. Didn't matter where it was, but once he did, used his nose for the end zone and dove in.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Elliott good with a PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. now to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him. It's a rushing game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. After the penalty, it's Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative. Well, you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and set them down.
Under 4 to play now. Clock running, 3rd down. From the gun, Winston. This one complete to Charles Sims. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Charles Sims, 71 yards. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
This fielded at the 2. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And out now come the Eagles. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Winston, the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Now a play fake. Wentz escaping the pressure right. And a reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
Here we go. 20.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he's got the veteran here. It's Mike Wallace. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A good pickup there, 22.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Kill. There we go. Back.
Here's Ajayi. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this.
Come on now. Let's go.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. On second down, here's Wentz. Flushed out right. High throw, but the catch is made. An Eagle first down. Wentz hooking up with Jeffrey.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Reach the 5. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be second and goal. The Eagles hustling to the line, clock rolling. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a third down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
This is a giant. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to him behind the line. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. Wentz to throw for it on 4. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Mitch Unrein able to swamp him from that defensive tackle spot for a loss of 5. A breakdown by the O-line at the worst possible time. 4th and goal, and it leads to a sack.
And I can just see it now. On the sidelines, they're telling the quarterback, you've got to get rid of it somehow, some way. At least get it in the end zone and give us a chance. If we throw an interception, so what? A sack? We didn't even have a chance.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. And we will likely not see another play here as they take the knee and head into the intermission all tied. So we're at halftime here on a Monday night as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach!
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
Set and ready to go for the second half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And down he goes just shy of the 25. Now penalty marker is down. Let's see what that's about.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put him back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they'll run it here. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On 3rd and 1, here's Winston. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. We saw this a lot in the 1st half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. Well, they don't get a touchdown here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Caught right side is Jeffrey. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
There we go. Back. Waiting. What's that? 58. Right over there. Yeah. Hey, 57.
On 1st down, Wentz eluding the pressure right. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down. So the youngster able to use the legs to pick up the first.
And one of my pet peeves when they see this guy play, when Carson Wentz takes off running the football, I always hear people go, oh, he's sneaky athletic. No, he's athletic. Watch him do it. He's an integral part of the quarterback run game, and he gets it done very, very well.
Yeah, you don't like sneaky athletic, do you? That's just kind of a jab in the back.
Yeah, not when it doesn't apply. I think that's a stereotype that needs to be broken down for him.
On play action, Wentz. That's into the hands of Wallace over the middle. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Mike Wallace, 30 yards. yards. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Elliott on for the extra point. Oh, look at this. A flip to the kicker. He's going to try to run for it. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want a drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
If the post pattern is often equated as a change-up route, how about when you throw it to your big guy down the center of the field? Covered or not, you have great confidence he's going to come down with the football. And when he does, as we just saw, long gains often result.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. The 20. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Peyton Barber, 41 yards. And the Bucs are able to strike for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. From the gun, it's Wentz. Flush to his right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
On play action, it's Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll hit Jeffrey complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And his pass incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, to say that this has not been his game is probably a big understatement. I mean, he is all over the place. Mechanics are off, not accurate, except if you're playing on defense because they picked off a good number of passes.
Yeah, all the INTs, but they're throwing it off his back foot. Pressure coming, just chucking it downfield. He can't do that right now.
No, you can't do that at all. And I think one of the hardest things for a guy having a day like this one is to find a way to just kind of get out of it, kind of get yourself back to neutral. Because what you try and do is make even more spectacular plays to make up for it, and it usually leads to more bad ones. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Too long for a field goal, too short to punt that in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. Wentz, and Jeffrey's got it. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there.
Not only is a slant route really difficult to cover, it's a real staple play for an offense on a 4th down because it's a quick-hitting play. Get the ball in the hands of the quarterback right to the receiver.
And the receiver has to be ready because that thing's coming on a rope. And now it's 2nd down, but here's the field goal team out onto the field. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And Elliott puts this one through, and that'll bring him back within a point. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it? We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Jameis to throw it. And that one knocked away and incomplete. Nice job defensively on what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Ready.
On 2nd down, Winston again. And he's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game, and he can break big plays like that. We've seen him do it throughout his NFL career.
We have. What are you thinking of anything in particular?
I'm still remembering a certain Giants punter not following orders, and Deshaun Jackson made that big-time return all the way back for a game winner in that one. I still remember seeing the looks of disbelief on the Giants sideline. That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Now that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. The 12 yards that time and picking up the first.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. That is caught inside the 5. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. That one goes for 24 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
He'll get it up the middle. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
This is where coaches have to have spent a lot of time going over situations with their players. because him getting tackled there is not the worst thing in the world. You're going to run more plays.
And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this fourth quarter. Here's Foles sliding out of the pocket. His throw incomplete. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up third down.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach and incomplete. Now Foles. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. And they convert on third with a gain of 22. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Easy.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll go down at the 28. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the throw of the action. First and goal, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here are musts. They'll try and run it now with Sproles. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Darren Sproles in the final minute. And the Eagles move back within a couple of the lead. So a big play for the Eagles now as they'll go for 2.
The touchdown's massive, but now they've got to have 2 to possibly take this to overtime.
And he's going to get into the end zone. The 2-point conversion successful, and we've got ourselves a tie football game. Huge conversion there to tie this thing up, but they're not done yet. Their defense needs to get a stop.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for the other team to come downfield and put some points on the board, but job 1 was taken care of. The 2-point conversion to get this thing tied.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Bucs now. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. The give is to Jones. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Now Winston. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Partner, you absolutely cannot take a sack in that situation. Now, it's also 4th down.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit 000. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Foles. Going long here for Wallace. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Holding, offense.
So they say no to the penalty. The incompletion stands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And what they want to do is go ahead and take those downs away from them. You never want to give extra snaps to any offense. That's how you get hurt.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. On the return, this is Jaquiz Rogers. Then he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can...
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And this is caught by Evans. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
They go play action. Winston, he's going to float this one deep right side. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malcolm Jenkins. A costly mistake here in OT.
And you know what they say when you throw an interception like that in overtime? You don't usually get a chance to throw a second one. I mean, I'm not sure the analytics on it. Let's ask Marvin, our statistician, to ring that down for us. That's typically how coaches and teams feel about you. Throw one, you likely cost yourself the game.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Well, part 1 is done, now part 2. He'll look to throw. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Great. 13.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Great. Silent.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. A good pickup there at 22.
Personal experience, nothing drives a defense crazier than having things covered and the quarterback takes off and picks up a first down or big yardage. Because whether you're in zone or man, it's easy to lose track of him because you don't always have someone assigned to him. And once he goes, now everybody's scrambling to try and tackle him.
That one goes for 24 yards. They go play action here on first down. Eluding the pressure right. And this will be caught. Touchdown. They needed overtime to get it done, but put this one in the win column. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Eagles are winners here as we say so long from Philadelphia.
EA Sports. It's in the game.